What's up, guys? It's D. So the time that I've been taking off to kind of like refocus, recenter, and decompress, all the things. Um, Obviously, I had a lot of time to, well, not a lot, but enough time to kind of sit back and think and kind of reflect on how this year has been so far, just like from a professional standpoint, like from a planning standpoint, and on top of everything else that's going on as far as like social unrest, uh, racism, and just being black on a day to day basis, and being a black planner. Um, and I wanted to kind of make this, I guess, more personal. So I did a video, and I'll probably do a little write up, but it'll be on the blog and maybe on my Instagram TV. But basically, the last 6.5 months have been incredibly challenging. It's probably the best word I could think of. If there's anything that I've learned through the last 6 months has been like resilience, just through everything that's going on with me professionally and personally, and then everything that's happened from the pandemic to um, the protests to having to put the spotlight on racism in my own profession, and putting the spotlight on people that I know that I've known for forever, black and white. It's been tough. It's been a lot. It's been a hell of a year so far, and it's only almost 7 months in. I say all that to say that for people that don't know, I resigned from my job at the city of Lancaster been on December 5th, 2019. So since then, I've just been kind of like, one could say kicking it, but it hasn't even been nearly as fun as kicking it. And I've just really been finding myself professionally, finding my way as far as what's next, what do I do, how do I do it, how do I bounce back, what do I want to do. Um, After a year and a half in a small city setting, straight out of grad school, not really knowing what to anticipate as a quote unquote practicing planner. I saw a lot, I learned a lot, I felt a lot, and I grew a lot. And through that, I grew into kind of a niche on accident. I grew a lot into urban design and placemaking and people, community engagement. As much as I am not a fan of like public speaking and just like conversation, these and like engagement are like top 5 things that I don't mind doing. Realizing that was kind of what fueled my job search. And excuse me, if you're a planner, you know, like I know, one cannot just search for a placemaking job and find something. It's unreal. It doesn't exist. Don't let anybody tell you differently. But long story short, I've kind of had to stumble, fumble, fail, and just like completely start over a couple of times this year, just trying to figure out how to get from my point A to my point B. And a lot of that was what type of planner I was trying to be. And I thought I knew, but I didn't really have a solid idea. And I thought I had some decent stuff under my belt, and I thought I had a pretty decent resume. And I went through a lot of doubt, like the first 2 months, 2.5 months of this year, not really feeling like I was good enough for any job, even just like a basic planner one job. I went through too many interviews to count, too many exercises. I'm telling you, like, I'm a professional interviewer now. And looking back on them now and where I am and some of the opportunities and things that I've been grateful and blessed to be a part of and be invited to and just be included in, I feel like it's been a direct result of things not working out for me like 3.5 months ago. Basically saying that to say that the planning profession it can drain you. If you are a student, if you're about to graduate, if you just started a graduate program or undergraduate program, shit looks really scary right now. I can only imagine what it's looking like from your end as far as finding a job and getting out there. And if you're a black planner, I can only imagine how much more anxious and worried you are about starting a career like this, where they really don't want you to succeed by any means necessary. But We're doing 1,000% our best right now, practicing Black planners, to make sure that that narrative is going to be completely transformed by the time you get ready to graduate. And you're probably doing the same thing at your level too. You're seeing some of the things. You're seeing some of the ugly past. You're seeing a lot of the hate and a lot of the privilege that comes with this profession, and a lot of the entitlement. But don't get discouraged. It's gonna be worth it in the end, as long as you're doing it from the heart. I say that to say, planning is a profession that's gonna take you on a series of ups and a series of downs, and it's never gonna be consecutive. It's almost like the universe is always playing. It's like a yo-yo with you. It'll bring you up, throw you down, kind of just walk the dog with you. It's all over the place. It's a super toxic relationship, but it's all for the greater good. One of the biggest things that I've learned, and I've tried to literally use it and implement it and think about it every single time, with every single thing that I do when it comes to my planning profession and career. And myself and Gigi were talking about it when I had my interview with her, was when she had her interview with Mitchell Silver. It's always fun to remember why you started doing this, remember why you even got into this, and to keep the passion going. By whatever means necessary, keep the passion going. That is probably the only thing that has kept me going the last 6.5, 7 months, simply for the fact that every time there was a no, every time there was a setback, every time there was a letdown, or every time there wasn't an offer, finding that passion, having that sense of encouragement always kind of kept me going and kept me pushing, and it helped me stay focused. It helped me to keep going. Obviously, it helped me stay motivated, and it also really built my self-confidence of you're gonna get 1,000 no's before you get a yes. That's in anything, but in this, it's a little bit more challenging because there's a lot more attached to it, whether that's funds, policy changes, and people's lives are at stake. It's it's worth it at the end, I promise. Especially if you're a Black planner or a Hispanic planner, you're making such a major difference just being in a program, point blank. You're making such a stand that, this space is just as much ours as it is theirs. You have no idea the impact that you're making just by being enrolled, just by going to the classes, and just by voicing how you feel about not having any teachers that look like you, or not having a curriculum or academia that treats you, or treats communities that look like you, or how they talk about them or how they don't. That is transformative in itself. I've personally found inspiration and light through some of the students that I've met through social media that have reached out to me, some of the things that I've spoke on, some of the classes that I've invited to. Anybody that's invited me to a class in the last 6.5 months, thank you. I appreciate you. You have no idea what that did, not only for my self-confidence, but just for mentally, being in a somewhat depressed but also self-doubting era of your career. It takes a toll on you. So when you get to talk to people and they feed off of what you're saying, it definitely gives you a spark of inspiration and motivation to go harder and keep going. For the numerous amounts of conversations that I've been invited to and have been a part of since the pandemic, with amazing planners all over the world, man, I can't even believe some of the people that I've been able to talk to and interact with and network with. I'm still in awe, a little starstruck on a cool. Thank you again, to see more planners of color come out, especially women, talking that talk, walking that walk, using our lingo, using our slang, using our verbiage, all of that in a professional setting is crazy. It warms my heart. It makes me feel like, hey, yo, it's validated. It makes me feel like we can exist here and we can completely change the tone, change the narrative 1,000%. And that in itself is that's been keeping me skyrocketed on confidence. For the Tamika Butler, Dr. Destiny Thomas, Gigi, who else? Man, there's so many. Kristen Jeffers, Les. There's so many Black women that have been just inspiring me nonstop since the pandemic and since all of this. I couldn't even finish the list. I barely got those off. Thank you. you've been an inspiration in some form of fashion, probably every day, that I look at to keep going and that I use for motivation, to keep putting out content and to keep making sure that our voices are more powerful and more dominant than ever as we move forward. So I say all that to say thank you to people that have reached out to me, people that have asked me to, just like for my 2 cents on stuff. Like, I'm not an expert by any mean. I'm just living, honestly. I'm just living as a Black person and a Black planner, and I'm just genuine about what I want to do and who I want to impact. But I'm constantly grateful and I'm constantly in awe that people really take some type of inspiration from me, because last year I was stumbling through my career again, trying to put on a market, and I had no idea what I was really doing. I was just, finding my way every time. But the people that I've mentioned, the situations, the experiences that I talked about have helped me find my way on this path. And I hope that whoever watches this video, whoever sees it, whether they're a new student about to graduate or in the middle of their program, or somebody that's had to start over a couple times, or a new planner trying to figure out what's next, how to even bounce back after the pandemic, or a seasoned planner, or somebody who's just advocating for social justice issues, I hope I can be a little bit of a light. There's so many other amazing people out there that are inspiring me. So if you're getting inspired by me, don't forget to attribute that same amount of love to them, because without them, there would be no me, in the sense of how to exist on this platform and other platforms. If you're a Black planner, ayo, I said it before and I'm gonna keep saying it again. You the realest. Honestly, I love you. Thank you for doing what you do, for doing what we do, for existing the way that you do. Because again, every time I see somebody new that is a Black planner, especially a female, I get excited. And even every time I see a Hispanic planner, it's like every time I see a young adult that's in a planning program that is Hispanic and Black, my heart skips a beat. Because that's step one of the process. More than anything, I want you guys to keep going. I want y'all to, keep staying inspired, but also don't force it. Planning it can be a long game, but it's also a game of chess, not checkers. So you definitely got to move right to get to where you're trying to go. I'm excited to get back out into like a kind of a new regimen of things, a new regimen of planning, and just kind of start a new chapter. Oh yeah, I will be starting a Master's of Landscape Architecture program in the fall of August 2020. After a lot of going back and forth with myself, some of my close friends, and some amazing advisors and teachers that I've had at UTA, I decided to go back to school, do the landscape architecture thing, just to really tap into the urban design aspect of where I'm really trying to go in my career, where I'm really trying to take myself professionally. So I've been holding on to that. I've been sitting on that since like February, and I ain't even really told nobody. But if you listen to my interview with Gigi, then you probably heard it a little bit, a little snippet of it. But I'll try to do a better job of documenting that on the blog and even here. But thank y'all for rocking with me. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. I love y'all to the fullest. Like I always, Black first and foremost, urban planner second. Oh, and a shout out to my boy Rans on the hoodie. You know how we do. I'm gonna wear it all. I wear it all the time. Be safe out there. Stay healthy. Put a mask on. Wash your hands. Check on your family. Check on your friends. Check on your homies. And keep stepping on their necks.